what a processor is. During the discussion of definition of a processor, actually we have discussed how actually a processor works. How a processor works means how the processor can execute instructions that we have discussed. And just again very briefly, I will tell you briefly again how processor works. One thing only I have already told you, processor cannot execute or cannot do anything by itself. Whatever you want to do, basically you have to take help of the processor to do something. So anything you want to do with the help of processor, you have to instruct the processor to do the thing. Whatever instruction you will give the processor will blindly follow your instruction and execute it and do the work. Otherwise, processor cannot do anything beyond your instruction. Okay. Another thing I told you, the processor cannot accept instructions from a user, that means from you. Rather, processor will read the instructions from a storage device called memory. That means it is your task to store your instruction or your program into the memory first, so that from memory processor can read the instruction and able to execute the instruction. And during that process, during the definition of whenever I discuss definition of microprocessor, there I told you it is a digital device. It can understand only binary 0 and 1. That means any instruction you give to the processor, you have to give the instruction using only binary 0 and 1, nothing else. And whenever you first you have to write your program or instruction, store it in the memory. From memory, processor will read the instruction. And after reading the instruction, processor will understand what is the meaning of the instruction. If your instruction needs some data to operate with it, that means suppose your instruction is addition. So after reading the instruction of addition from memory, definitely processor need some data on which this addition operation will be performed. The question is where processor will get this from, where processor will get the data. The data processor can get from two devices. Either processor can get the data from memory again, or you can supply the data to the from any input device like keyboard. If you want to provide the data or supply the data to the processor from memory, that means again it is your task to store the data in the memory first. Otherwise, processor will not get the data from memory. So that means the memory chip data processor can take either from memory or from input device. After getting the data, processor will process the data as per the instruction. Means if it is addition, it will add the data. And after processing the data as per the instruction, processor will produce a result. And that result, processor can again store in the memory, or it can send the result into an output device like display device. So this is how, what is the definition of a processor or how processor works. And there I told you that to work with the processor, at least three things are required to be connected with it. That is input device, output device, and memory. Because memory is required to store your program or your data. Input device is required to supply data to the processor. The output device is required so that processor can display the result of the instructions or your program into this output device. So this is how processor works. Now gradually we will first discuss, because so many processors are available. So in our syllabus, the first processor which is there, that is 8085 processor. 8085 is the name of the IC or the name of the processor. 8085 processor. So now this processor will also work in the same manner. Every processor will work in the same manner. But now we will gradually go to the specifically for 8085 processor, how instructions are executed in 8085 processor, that we will now discuss in details. Before that, the first thing is we have to discuss whatever the different, because we cannot, it is not possible to know what are the internal circuitry of this 8085 or any processor, because it's a huge circuitry what is there inside it. At least we have to get an idea about the different building blocks of an 8085 processor or any other processor. And that is basically called the architecture of 8085 processor. Architecture means what are the different hardware or are the hardware blocks are there, major hardware blocks are there inside the 8085 processor chip, so that all this the operation processor can do. So that is called the architecture of 8085 processor. Today actually we will start discussing the architecture of 8085 processor, but we will not tell you, I will not tell you the what are the internal blocks are available in 8085 processor directly, we will not tell. Rather, what we will do, we will discuss what are the different operation processor can do, and to do this operation, what hardware or what circuitry is required. Then we'll see whether this circuitry is actually is there in 8085 processor or not. In that way, we will discuss the architecture of processor 8085 processor. So mainly, so it's just a minute. I will share my presentation. Is it visible to you?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, as I told you that we will not directly tell you what are the hardware block, major hardware block present inside the 8085 processor. Rather, we will tell you what are the different operation 8085 can do, and to perform this operation, what hardware is actually required. That I will discuss. Then we will tell you whether this required hardware is available in 8085 processor or not. In that way, we will discuss the architecture of 8085 processor. And now here it is mentioned that 8085 processor, whatever operation, different types of function or operation a processor can do, that is basically divided into three major categories. And it is written this is a microprocessor initiated operation, second is internal data operation, and third is peripheral initiated operation. That means processor, whatever its operation processor will do, that will be divided into these three categories. Microprocessor initiated operation, internal data operation, peripheral initiated operation. Now gradually, we'll one by one we will discuss what are the meaning of these three types of operation. Microprocessor, first we will discuss what we understand about the microprocessor initiated operation. And it is mentioned the microprocessor initiated operation means the operation which will be initiated by the processor first. That means this is type of operation means different function. It you may think that addition, it may anything, any operation you can say. So that operation, any operation which will be initiated by the processor first, that is called the microprocessor initiated operation. And again, four types of microprocessor initiated operations are there that is listed here: memory read, memory write, IO read, and IO write. These are the four different microprocessor initiated operation. How why we call this four operation as a microprocessor initiated operation? Reason is if processor wants to perform any one of these four operation, the operation will first be initiated by the processor itself. How that definitely you will understand whenever we see in details these four different operation. You will then only you will understand. Yes, that to perform memory read operation must be initiated by the processor first. And let me tell you the meaning of this four operation. You can understand from the name. Memory read means processor will read a data from memory. What does it mean? Processor will read a data from memory. Means there is a data in the memory. Processor will read the data from memory means data will be transferred from memory to the processor. That means whatever binary data is there in the memory register, that data will be transferred to the processor. That means there is a data transfer from memory to the microprocessor. That operation is called memory read. Similarly, second operation is memory write. Means processor will write something in the memory, write means store. Means there is a data available with the processor. Processor will send or store the data into the memory. That means the data transfer between microprocessor to memory. Similarly, same thing for IO read and IO write. IO means input output. Input output read, input output write. IO read means processor will read a data from a input device. And IO write means processor will write or send some data into an output device. So these four operations belongs to the microprocessor initiated operation, because to perform any one of these four operations, the first operation, the task, any of the four of these operations, processor will first initiate this operation. That's why they are called microprocessor initiated operation. Now we have to know in details how processor will perform this four operation. How processor will perform memory read, how processor will perform memory write, that we have to read in details. But before that, I want to discuss about the memory, the basic idea behind or basic knowledge about the memory. Memory means, that where we can store the binary data, and basic memory element to design a memory is used as a D flip-flop. Flip-flop is used basically because in memory basically there is a array of register, and register is designed with the help of flip-flops. Normally D flip-flops are used to design the register. Already you have learned that D flip-flop is used to design a register. And so basic memory element is taken as a D flip-flop. One input D, another one output Q, and here it is labeled as another input as enable. Basically this can be treated as clock, because the truth table of this D flip-flop, whatever data you will apply at the D input, if you enable the flip-flop by applying a clock, the input data will be available to the output. Okay, this is the D flip-flop basic element of a memory. Because to know how processor will perform memory read, before that you have to know about something, knowledge of memory, then only you can understand how processor can perform memory read operation or memory write operation. So basic memory element is D flip-flop is used to design. And another thing, this whatever now whatever D flip-flop circuit is shown in the earlier slide. Now this D flip-flop is not used independently in the memory element. Rather, you can see with this D flip-flop, another two element is added here. This is one element, and at the output also another element is added. This is called buffer. This element is called buffer is added. This is the input buffer which is applied at the input of D input, and another buffer which is called the output buffer which is connected at the output of this D flip-flop. So basically in memory, this D flip-flop with D flip-flop, these two buffer, one at input and another at output is connected. So now see what is why this buffer is connected at the input and output of this D flip-flop. So we'll discuss it. So before that, you have to know what is the buffer. Buffer means, or it is called a earlier slide you have probably seen, this is called a tri-state buffer. Tri-state means this buffer, you can see each buffer is having one input, one output, and another input is enable. Okay. Two input, one is input, another is output, and another is enable input. So what is the function of this buffer? Buffer is nothing but whatever data you will apply at the input, it will go to the output if you enable it. Means if you enable the buffer, there will be a short circuit between, just like there is a short circuit between the input line and output line. Means whatever you apply at the input, that will go down. Okay. That means what you can apply at the input, either you can apply 1. If it is enable, output means there is a short circuit between input and output, so output will be 1. If you apply input 0, if it is enable, output will be 0. But whenever you disable this by applying a suitable, because two types of buffers it is shown. Why two types of buffer? What is the difference? Here enable is given active high, and in the right side, this enable is given with a bubble, that means it is labeled as enable bar. You know the meaning of it, active low and active high input signal. In this right side buffer, two types of buffer may be enable input. Enable buffer is available. Here, in this right side buffer, the meaning is if I apply 0 to this enable input, this buffer will be enabled. Means input and output will be sorted. And in the left side buffer circuit symbol, it is active high enable input. That means if I apply 1 here, this buffer will be enabled. So enable means input and output will be sorted. Whatever you apply at the input, that will go to the output. But if you disable it by applying here 0, that means there will be an open circuit between input and output. Open circuit means it is called, you know that open circuit means there is a high resistance, or it is called high impedance between input and output. Open circuit, no current will flow. That means it is a high impedance state. That means whatever you apply input, that will never go to the output. That is a tri-state buffer. Why tri-state? 3 states are there. One is 0, that means that another is 1, and another is called high impedance state. High impedance means if we make it that buffer disable, then there will be an open circuit between input and output. That state is called a high impedance state. So that's why this is called a tri-state buffer. So just you know that tri-state buffer is used to transfer data from input to output by enabling it. And if I disable it, there will be open circuit between input and output. Means no input data will go to the output. Now you can understand in this key flip-flop, whatever I have shown you earlier, you can understand why the buffer is used. Buffer is used means this is the active low buffer here is connected. Suppose I have applied if I do not use a buffer, suppose this D flip-flop is in the enable state. So if we do not use a input buffer, then what happens? If data at the input terminal is changed, always the output, whatever data is coming at the input, that will go to the always output. If the buffer is D flip-flop is enabled, if data at the input is changed, output data will also change continuously. Just to restrict it, this two buffer is used, one at input and another at the output side. Meaning is that you may apply data at the input. At any time, if you want to apply the data to the input of the D flip-flop, just enable the buffer for that particular instant. So that in data at the input terminal for that instant will be applied to the input of the D flip-flop. And if you now enable it, it will go to the output of this flip-flop. So it will be stored at the output of the flip-flop at the Q terminal. But why this output buffer is given? Again, data is stored at the Q output. If you want to see it, enable the output buffer. Whatever data is available at the Q terminal, that will be shown at the output of this flip-flop. Just to make a control of over input and output, this two buffer tri-state device or tri-state buffer is connected, one at input and another at output terminal. Purpose is just to control the data. Control the data means if I enable the buffer, then only my input data will go to the output. Or if I enable the output buffer, then only my data which is stored at the output of the flip-flop will be available to that wherever I want to transfer will be available here. Just to make a control over the input and output data, this two buffer is normally used in every register or every memory element. Okay. Now here two symbols are given to enable. This is one enable input and the input buffer is labeled as WR bar, and enable input of the output buffer is labeled with a name as RD bar. This what is the meaning? Because actually in buffer this is called enable, but we have its name is changed as WR bar, and in the output buffer name is changed as RD bar. WR means write operation and RD means read operation. You can understand the meaning. Write means you want to store something in the flip-flop. What you want to store? Whatever data will be available here, that data suppose you want to store, or store means write operation. You want to write inside this flip-flop. That's why, what is the operation? You have applied the data at the data input terminal. Now apply the write bar signal equal to 0. Then this buffer will be enabled. It will be appeared at the input of the D flip-flop and it will be stored if the flip-flop is given a clock. That means by enabling this input buffer, you can be able to store or write data inside the flip-flop. That's why the enable input of this input buffer has given a name of write bar. Means by applying 0 here, you are performing a write operation, storing something. But what about the output buffer? If you see that something is stored at the Q output, And here at the output terminal, I want to see it. See it means I want to read the data from the flip-flop. Then what I have to do? I have to apply a T bar signal equal to 0 so that the output buffer is enabled, and whatever data is available at Q, that will be seen at the output terminal or available at the output terminal. That means by enabling the output buffer, what actually you are doing? You are performing a read operation from flip-flop. That means whatever data is stored at the output of the flip-flop, we are reading it. That's why the enable input of the output buffer is given a name as read bar. That means by applying read bar RD bar 0, you are actually performing a read operation from this flip-flop. Okay. So that is basically is written here in this slide. What is read bar and write bar? Now see, you know the register. Brief. Very fast I will discuss this. You can see I have here a
স্যার স্যার আমরা এই যে বাফারটাকে মানে অ্যাক্টিভ হাইতে অ্যাক্টিভ লোতে কেন রাখবো, অ্যাক্টিভ হাইতে কেন রাখবো না?
anyone you can use, anyone. That's why I have told you two types of buffers are available. A buffer with active high enable and buffer with active low enable. Both are possible. So which one you have to use? That depends on where you are connecting it. This buffer you have to connect somewhere. Suppose we are connecting it with the processor. Then processor will send some. So what type of signal is coming to enable the buffer? That you have to plus check. If a logic 1 is coming to enable the buffer, so I have to use a active high buffer. If logic 0 is coming to enable a buffer, so I have to use a active low buffer, enable buffer. Okay, that depends on, because this enable input, by looking this circuit, you may think that this enables input I have to apply, user have to apply manually. No, that is one perspective. But actually, whenever I will use it inside a circuit, this enable input will not be supplied to you. That may come from other device. Okay. So that other device, what signal he is sending to enable it, whether he is sending 1 or he is sending 0. Depending on that, I have to choose what buffer I have to use, whether active high or active low. Here.
স্যার বলছি যে ওই কিউ থেকে ডাইরেক্টলি কেন নেওয়া হচ্ছে না, আগে একটা নট গেট দিয়ে কেন নেওয়া হচ্ছে?
Which one?
স্যার ওই যে আগে যে কিউটা ছিল না, ডি ফ্লিপ ফ্লপের যে কিউটা আছে, ওখান থেকে ডাইরেক্ট আউটপুটটা কেন নেওয়া হচ্ছে না, একটা নট গেট দিয়ে কেন পাস করানো হচ্ছে, মানে বাফার গেটটা দিয়ে?
No, not it is not gate. It is a buffer.
হ্যাঁ স্যার, এরকম করে কেন পাঠানো হচ্ছে, মানে ডাইরেক্টলি কেন নেওয়া হচ্ছে না?
Because I told you that this two buffer is added at the input and output terminal just to control, make a control over data. Over data means if this buffer is not there, every time the data will be available at the output line. That means every time you can see. But suppose I don't want to see every time. I want to see whenever I want to read. So then that's why I have given a control, or a control is given with a buffer, so that until this buffer is enabled, you will not see the data. Once the buffer is enabled, only this buffer data will be available to the output. Moreover, another reason is there. Just by after 2-3 slide, you will whenever I discuss it, it will be clear. Another reason why this buffer is connected at the input and output terminal of the memory or register. Just to wait for 2-3 slides. There, I will again discuss that issue. Okay. So this is a register you can.
হ্যালো স্যার, বলছি যে আমি অ্যাক্টিভ হাই বাফার ইউজ করব না অ্যাক্টিভ লো বাফার ইউজ করব, সেটা কি পুরোপুরি মাইক্রোপ্রসেসরের উপর ডিপেন্ড করছে?
Microprocessor, again memory chip, depending on that, because memory chip you will not design, somebody has already designed, it is available in the market. So depending on that, you have to choose, you have to use. Okay.
স্যার 8085 এর কি ইউজ হয়?
It will come gradually, it will come. Okay. So this is a register, 4-bit register, because 4 flip-flops are used, and you can understand what type of register it is because you know different types of register: serial in, serial out, serial in, parallel in, serial out, and parallel in, parallel out. So can you recognize this? What type of register it is? You can understand how many input data input terminal is there. So for 4 flip-flops, 4 input terminal, I0, I1, I2, and I3. And how many output line? Q0, Q1, Q2, and Q3. 4 input and 4 output. So definitely it is a parallel in and parallel out type register. That means whatever you can store, if you want to store 4-bit data, you apply this 4-bit data to I0, I1, I2 and I3 terminal. Okay. So if you want to store it, so you have to send, because you can understand that every input is passed to the flip-flop with a buffer, with the active low enable input. So now there is a write bar signal, so active enable input is sorted, so you apply here write bar equal to 0. All these 4 input buffer will be enabled. That means, and if you apply clock, and whatever 4 data you have applied at I0 to I3, that will be stored at Q0, Q1, Q2 and Q3. But that will never be available, that will not available at these 4 output lines, Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3. Whatever data is stored, that will not be available at the output terminal here. Why not? It will be available here because every output of the flip-flop is again passed through output buffer. So to make the stored data available at this port terminal Q0, Q1, Q2 and Q3, you must enable this 4 buffer by applying RD bar equal to 0. Whenever you apply RD bar equal to 0, all the output buffers will be enabled. Means whatever data is stored at the output of each flip-flop will now be available at this 4 output terminal Q0, Q1, Q2 and Q3. So this is a register and operation of a register parallel in, parallel out. And with the array of such so many register, basically the memory is designed. That means inside it, because this is the array of flip-flop, or it is there in a register. But such register with the array of such so many register, basically a memory device or a memory chip is designed. In the next slide, you can see this something, because I have taken it from this Gauker presentation. Color is very dark, that's why it cannot, is not properly visible. So again, so such 4-bit register. This is a 4-bit register. This is one register. This is another register. This is another register. This is another register. So how many register we have used? 4 register. 4 number of 4-bit register is used here to design a memory chip. So this is a memory chip. How many registers are there? 4. What is the length of each register? 4, because each register is designed with 4 number of bits. Now you see the diagram of it. This D0, D1, D2, D3 at the upper top side, these are the input terminal. Input means here you have to apply data. Okay. And this at the bottom, Q0, this is again labeled as D1, D2, D0, D1, D2 and D3. This is also the output terminal from where you can read the data which is available at the or from a particular register. And input and output, they are again passed through a buffer. This is a 4-bit buffer and this is a 4-bit output buffer. Now see the situation. Suppose I have applied a 4-bit data here. D0, D1, D2, D3 I have applied. Then what to do? I want to store this 4-bit data. I want to store this 4-bit data. Then what I have to do next? This is a memory register. This is a memory chip. This memory chip suppose is designed with 4 number of 4-bit register. Okay. Now I want to store a 4-bit data. So that data where I should apply? At the top D0, D1, D2, D3. At this port terminal, suppose I have applied the 4-bit data. Now think what I should do next to store this data. What we should do next? Can anybody suggest what we should do next? After applying 4 input data, what we should do so that data will be stored inside the register? Can anyone suggest?
Sir, next row next register.
No, it is not stored. I have only applied data at the input terminal D0, D1, D2, D3. Now I want to store
active low enable buffer.
That means you want that we should apply a write bar equal to 0 signal to enable this all input 4 buffer so that the input data will enter inside the memory chip. Now my question is, to store this 4 bit of data, how many register is required? Because your memory is designed with how many register? 4. I have applied a 4-bit data. So to store this 4-bit data, how many registers are required? 1. But inside your memory chip, 4 such registers are there. You told that after applying data in the port terminal, you will apply write bar equal to 0 so that all input buffer will be enabled and input data will entered inside the memory. But my question is, out of 4 register, in which register this 4-bit data will be stored? Because only one register is required to store your 4-bit data. So which register, inside which register this data will be stored? How it will be decided? Can anyone suggest inside which register this data will be stored after applying write bar equal to 0?
স্যার ওই আনএবল ইনপুটটা দিয়ে ঠিক করা যাবে কোন রেজিস্টারটা
That means you can see in this 4 registers, you can see 4 flip-flops are the first register. All the enable inputs are sorted and enable input is terminated here. That means 4 different enable inputs are there. So if I want to store this 4-bit data in the first register, after applying write bar equal to 0 or before applying write bar equal to 0, normally it is done. First, this enable input of a particular register is basically applied as 1 so that this particular register is selected. Meaning is, out of 4 register, in which register you want to store the data, that register must be selected first. How it will be selected? You are correctly saying that by applying or by enabling the register. How we can enable the register? You can see this is all active high enable. That means in this 4 row, you can see this 4 row. This 4 row is the 4 enable. Enable means enable row. This 4 row is enabling the 4 register. If I apply here at the 1 at the first row, it will enable the first register but not the remaining 3. So if I apply 1 to this first row, then if I apply write bar equal to 0, whatever data is applied at the input terminal, that data will enter into the memory and it will, I can say, it will be stored inside the first register. Why first register? Because this input data will be available to all the 4 register. But thing is that I have made all the remaining 3 register disable. Only first register I have made enable by applying 1 here and other 3 0. That means whatever data will enter inside the memory chip after write bar 0, it will be stored in the first register. If somebody thinks that no, I don't want to store the data in the first register, I want to store it in the second register, then what you have to do? Before applying write bar, you choose the enable suitable input at the 4 enable. That means first enable input, now you make it disable by applying 0. Second register you want to store, apply the enable 1. This 2 you want to disable, you don't want to store, apply 0. That means only the second register is enabled. Now apply write bar 0. Input data will be entered into the memory chip and it will be stored only in the enabled register, that means in the second register. In that way, the data is stored inside the memory. And similarly, you can see this, whenever you want to suppose data is stored, all 4 register is having 4 data. So now if I want to read data, then what to do? How we can read? So again, if I want to read, you can say we have to apply again enable this output buffer. By how? By applying read bar equal to 0. See the bottom of this diagram. Output buffer enable is labeled as RD bar. That means by applying RD bar equal to 0, if we enable the output buffer, data from the memory will come out to this 4 output terminal. Again the same issue. In this 4 terminal, how many bit data will come out? 4 bit. That means data from 1 register will come out. So now out of your memory is having 4 register. So from which register data will come out to the output terminal? So that's why, again, before applying, whenever you want to perform read operation from a specific register, before applying read signal, you must enable that particular register first by applying a suitable enable combination at this 4 row. So apply here 1 or all other 0. Then from the selected or enabled register, data will be come out or read at the output terminal, 4 output terminal. So that means this 4 enable input, that means this 4 row basically is used to select out of this 4 register on which register I want to read or in which register I want to store the data. That selection is done by applying a suitable data at this 4 input terminal, enable input terminal. We apply a suitable enable input at this 4 terminal. Depending on that, one of the register will be enabled. Then on that enabled register, you can perform read operation or write operation. If you want to perform read operation, send read bar 0. Code data from this enabled register will come out at this 4 output terminal. Okay. This is how a read operation, how data is stored inside the memory. And basically, whatever I told you with the help of enable input, basically enable input separately, you don't have to apply manually like that. And normally it is mentioned that in a memory register, whenever you want to store a data out of so many registers, because inside a memory so many registers are there. Here I have taken a small example with 4 registers, but that may contain huge number of registers depending on the size of the memory. So if I want to store a data in a particular register out of many, then what to do? It is our first task is that I should select the register first out of many. I should select one register on which I want to perform or I want to store some data or read some data. That means I have to identify it. And identification normally is done with the help in a memory chip. Identification is normally done with the address. Address means because I have 16 number of register, I want to identify any one of them. How I can identify it? With the help of address. That address is basically we are applying with the help of enable input. In the next slide, in the few slides, I will clearly explain how the address we can generate for a memory register. Okay.
হ্যালো স্যার, বলছি স্যার এই পার্টিকুলার রেজিস্টার গ্রুপ রেজিস্টারে যদি আমি 8 বিট ইনফরমেশন স্টোর করতে চাই তাহলে এটা কি
Then you take 8 no, no, no. You take 8-bit register. I have taken a small example 4-bit register.
না স্যার আমি পার্টিকুলারটাতে 8 বিট মানে ইনফরমেশন স্টোর করতে চাইছি, তাহলে কি মানে মাইক্রোপ্রসেসর কি দুটো শিফট রেজিস্টারে হাফ হাফ করে ঢুকিয়ে দেবে?
No, no, no. You have to make a 8-bit register. You have to use a 8-bit memory with 8-bit register, or if you have 4-bit registers memory, then you combine two such memory to make a 8-bit register. That mechanism is there. You can expand the size of the memory chip. Okay. The processor cannot store 4-bit here, 4-bit other register, other memory. It will not store. You have to make a 8-bit register. Okay.
ওকে স্যার।
আচ্ছা স্যার, সবগুলি যদি আমি এনেবল করে রাখি তাহলে কি স্যার ডেটা কি ফার্স্ট রেজিস্টারে স্টোর হবে?
No, it will be stored in all the registers. Because you see the diagram.
4-bit যদি হয় তবে
4-bit. You have applied 4-bit data, and you have told that all the 4 enable input you will make it 1. Then what happens? Okay, all registers are enabled, no problem. Now, whenever you apply write bar equal to 0, see the D0 terminal. This D0 data will be available where? It will be available here, first register, second register, third register. It will be available because there is a common line. It's a common wire. So this wire is connected to all the flip-flops. And if all the flip-flops are enabled, so this data will be stored at output of all the flip-flops. That means you cannot make control it. If you enable all this buffer, all these registers, and apply write bar signal equal to 0, the input 4-bit data will be stored in all the registers. And basically, normally, definitely in a normal situation, you never want that. You need that your data, 4-bit data should be entered or stored in a 1 register only. Okay. So you should not enable all the register at a simultaneous. And that will not be possible because here, just to explain it, I have make this 4 enable input open, but this enable input you don't have to apply. It will come from another device. That in the next slide I will explain. This is just I have given a block diagram of this earlier slide. Just whatever is mentioned in the earlier slide, it is represented with a block. This is labeled input buffer. Input buffer means inside this block, how many such buffer is there? 4. Because earlier I have taken an example of 4-bit register. So this 4 buffers. It is shown with a block input buffer. 4 memory register, output buffer 4-bit, output terminal. This is the read bar enable for buffer. This is write bar enable for buffer, and these are the 4 enable of 4 register. Just represented with a block diagram. Now see,
স্যার বলছি ওটা কি 16 বিট কমপ্লিট মেমোরিটা?
This particular memory can store 4 into 4, total 16-bit information it can store. Okay. This is, I have taken a small memory chip size memory just for explanation. Now see, here another, with this block I have added another block is added which is labeled as decoder. A decoder is added at the left side. Same memory block, 4 register, every register is 4 bit in length, and in the left side it is added, a decoder is added, and output of this decoder is connected to the enable input of this 4 register. See the earlier diagram? These 4 are the enable input. Enable input of whom? Enable input of the 4 registers, EN0, EN1, EN2 and EN3. This enable input, as here it is kept open, means meaning is we have to apply this enable value manually. Now instead of applying this enable input manually, this enable input of this 4 register is coming from the output of a decoder. That is shown here with another block of decoder. And now see, for this particular example, how many enable input are there in this memory chip? 4. So what will be the size of the decoder required? So output of this decoder should be 4, so that this 4 output will be, remember the decoder circuit, decoder, whatever we learned in the digital class. So 4 output at the decoder is required. So 4 output means size of the decoder will be 2 cross 4 decoder. This is 2 cross 4 decoder. This A0 and A1 is the input of this decoder, and this D0, D1, D2, D3 are the 4 output of this decoder, and every output is connected to one of the enable input of 4 memory register. Now you can understand or remember the truth table of a decoder. If I apply some at this A1, A0, how many binary combination we can apply? 4. Because 2 binary variable, 4 different combinations are there, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. If I apply 0, 0, then what happens? What will be the truth table of a decoder? D0 output, one of the output will be high, D0, and remaining 3 output will be low. Similarly, if I change this A1, A0 to 1, 1, again one of the output will be high, suppose D3 will be high and other 3 will be 0. Then now you can understand the operation of this memory. That means if I apply here 0, 0 at A1 and A0 terminal, then can you say what happens to this memory register? Out of this 4, which one will be selected?
Sir, memory register 0.
First
Yes,
line
memory register 0. And other 3 will be in the disabled state, because this is the truth table of decoder, that depending on 0, 0 at the input of decoder, the first output will be 1 and remaining 3 output of the decoder will be 0. As this 3 output is 0, then these 3 registers are kept in the disabled state. That means these are off. And this is 1 means the memory register 0 is in the enabled state. Meaning is, with the help of, by applying 0, 0 at the A1, A0 terminal, you are able to select memory register 0 out of this 4 register. And similarly, if you change A1, A0 to 0, 1, what happens? Memory register 1 will be selected, change it to 1, 0, memory register 2 will be selected, change it to 1, 1, memory register 3 will be selected, and other 3 will be in the disabled state. Meaning is, whatever we discussed in the earlier, that if I apply a 4-bit data at I0, I1, I2 and I3 terminal, and if I want to store this 4-bit data in any one of the register out of this 4, then how we can do it? For that, after applying data at this 4, before storing this data, first we have to decide out of this 4 register, in which register I want to store my data. That means out of 4, I have to select one register. So now from this block diagram, you can understand how we can select a register from a memory. That depends on the value of this A1 and A0. If I apply A1, A0, 0, 0, that means out of this 4, memory register 0 is selected. Then you apply the data here at I0 to I3 terminal. Then apply your write bar signal equal to 0. Means input buffer is enabled, so that this 4-bit input data from I0 to I3 will enter into the memory chip, and after entering in the memory chip, in which register it will be stored? it will be stored only in the selected register because other registers are kept into the disabled state. So as I have applied A1, A0 equal to 0, 0, so memory register 0 is selected. So my input data will be stored inside the memory register 0. This A1, A0 for a particular memory chip, this A1, A0 input is basically called the address input of a memory chip. Address input. Why it is binary address? Why it is address? Because this is a unique address. Why unique address? Because address of whom? Address of each register. So how many register I am having here in my memory chip? 4. So if I want to identify any register out of this 4, then how a register or how a device can be identified? Definitely device will be identified by its address. Suppose if you take a very simple example, suppose if I told you that in a particular area you identify a house, how you will identify? You have to identify a house. Can you identify? If I told you only identify a house, identify a register, can it be possible to identify it? No. So if you want to identify a particular house in a particular region, you must know its address because every house is having a unique address. So that whenever an address will be given to you, address of the house, now you will go there and you can identify the house. Same thing here also. In memory chip is a region. So many registers are there, means so many houses are there. So how to identify the house? Yes, that's why every house you have to give a unique address. Same thing here. In a memory chip, if you have many registers, you have to assign a unique address to all the registers. And what type of address? Now here, in case of house, you may give different address, but here, as it is a digital device, you have to assign a binary address. Next question is, how many bit binary address I have to assign? You can understand that definitely depends on how many registers are there inside the memory chip. Suppose in this example, how many registers are there inside this memory chip? 4. That means how many address you have to assign? 4 different address you have to assign. In what? In which form? In binary form. That means I have to generate or assign 4 unique binary combination. Now see, 4 unique or different binary combination is possible using minimum how many, you taking how many binary bit? 2 bit. Because 2 bit is having 4 different combination, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. This 4, 0, 0, 0, 1 and 4 combination may be assigned as a address of this 4 register, memory register 0, memory register 1, 2 and 3. Let's assume we have assigned 0, 0. Why 2 bit? You can understand. 2 bit, why 2 bit address? Because in my memory chip only 4 registers are there. And to assign a binary address to all these 4 registers, I need 4 different binary combinations. So 4 different binary combination is possible with minimum 2 binary bits. So I can say my memory chip or memory register inside my memory chip is having a 2-bit address. What is the address? Memory register 0 suppose 0, 0, memory register 1 suppose 0, 1, memory register 2 1, 0 and memory register 3 1. Instead of 4 register, suppose you have 8 register inside your memory chip. You have 8 register, suppose. Then how many address you have to generate? 8. Because every register you have to assign a unique address. That means you have to generate 8 binary address, unique address, different address. So now see, 8 different binary combination is possible using how many minimum binary bit? 3. Because 3 binary bit is having 8 different combination from 0, 0, 0 to 1, 1, 1. So that means we can say that in this memory chip, every register is having 3-bit address. Then in that particular case where instead of 4 register, 8 registers are there, you have to change the size of this decoder also. If it is 8 registers, memory register, 3-bit address, that means in your decoder, input will be 3 and using this 3 you have to enable how many memory register? 8, so output will be 8 and that is available in a 3x8 decoder. So in that case, you have to use a 3 cross 8 decoder whose input will be 3. 3 means that is the address of this memory register, and each output will be connected to the enable input of each 8 register. That is how address of a memory register is assigned. So in a particular register, how many bit memory address is available, that is what is the length of the address of the memory chip, memory register. That depends on what? That depends on the size of the memory. Size of the memory means inside the memory how many registers are there. Now if I take a example, a big example, suppose I have a 1K memory. 1K. 1K means, can you say how many registers are there inside this memory chip? How many registers are there? Can anybody say how many registers?
1024.
Means 2 to the power 10. 1K means 2 to the power 10. 2 to the power 10 number of registers are there. That means if I have to assign address to each of these register, that means I have to generate how many binary combination? 2 to the power 10 binary combination. So 2 to the power 10 different address will be assigned using how many bit binary? How many bit binary is required to generate 2 to the power 10 combination? Can anybody say?
10.
10, right. 10, and that means for 1K memory chip, address of each register length will be 10 bit. So that depends on the size. If I have 4 register, length of the address is 2 bit, A0, A1. If my memory size is 1K, to the power 10 registers are there. I have to assign more address, to the power 10 address. To the power 10 address is possible using 10 bit binary. So my address of each register in 1K memory chip will be 10 from A0 to A9. A variable is normally taken to represent the address. Okay. So in that way, so this is the major input and output lines of a memory chip. But actually I have discussed because memory chip is available in the market. So what are the major input and output pins? Data inputs are there, read bar is there, write bar is there, and address input A1, A0 or A0 to A10, that depends on the size of the memory that is available beside power supply and ground. Okay. So this is memory chip and how the memory chip will be accessed. Access means how we can read or write a data. I will again explain in the next slide. Now you can see the difference here. Can you find any difference between this slide and this slide? Diagram is same. Memory register, 4 number of registers I have taken, series diagram, and look at this diagram. What is the difference?
Sir,
Sir,
4
এখানে
outputs.
read write বাফারে না দিয়ে ইয়েতে দেওয়া হয়েছে একবারে মানে
Now, write bar signal is given to input buffer and read bar signal is given to output buffer.
স্যার এখানে ইনপুটটা দেখা যাচ্ছে না স্যার। ইনপুট
Input,
মানে
which
input যে আমি যে ইনপুটটা দেব
data input.
মানে স্যার ইনপুটটা কানেক্টেড আছে
Right. So now you can see the difference. Here I have shown 4 different data input I0 to I3 and data output for read operation Q0 to Q3 or O0 to O3. That means 4 separate lines for applying data to store data input, and to read data another 4 output lines are shown here. But actually in memory chip, separate line for data input and separate line for data output is not available. They are connected together, and actually 4 out. This is overlap with the some writings. No problem. I think you can see these 4 data lines. This I0 input and output is now converted with a different variable D. Only 4 data lines are available here: D0, D1, D2, and D3. So this 4 may be treated as output. Sometimes you may have to treat as input. They are sorted. Now think, if we sort this input output 4 input line and 4 output line of a memory chip, if it is sorted and 4 data lines is only derived from there, does it hamper the operation of this memory? Operation means read and write operation. Will it be hampered? See the situation. Suppose I want to store some data in memory register 1. Memory register 1, I want to store some data. Then what I have to do? First step is, out of this 4 register, I have to select memory register 1 out of this 4. How I can select memory register 1 or identify memory register 1? Identification will be done with the help of address. So you know the address of memory register 101. Apply this address to the A1 A0 terminal first. Okay. You apply 01 in the A1 A0 terminal. What happens? This D1 output of the decoder will be high, all other output will be 0. Means 3 register 0, 2 and 3 is disabled, only memory register 1 is enabled. Means with the address 01, you are successfully selected a memory register 1. Then apply data at this port terminal, whatever data you want to store, apply at this port terminal D0, D1, D2, D3. Now see, this D0, D1, D2, D3, once you apply, this data will be available to the input buffer. Is it available? Input buffer, if you apply D0, D1, D2, D3, will it be available here at the input buffer? It will be available because this is connected here. At the same time, this will be available at the output of this buffer. No problem. This will not hamper the operation. Because I have applied this data here, data is available at the input of the input buffer and output of the output buffer. No problem. Now see, after applying data, what actually I want to do? I want to store this data inside the memory register 1. Then what signal I should apply into this enable input of this 2 buffer? Which buffer I should enable?
So write buffer.
To store the data. So I should apply write bar equal to 0 and read bar equal to 1. So once I apply write bar equal to 0, what happens? Whatever data is applied at the input buffer, that will be stored in register 1. Which data is there at the input of this buffer? D0, D1, D2, D3. So that will be stored. So that means it is successfully stored. No problem. Now if I want to read it, suppose I want to read from memory register, suppose 3. Then what happens? Again select memory register 3 by applying 11 at the A1 A0 terminal. Apply 11. Memory register 3 is selected, other 3 register is disabled. Now apply read bar equal to 0 but write bar equal to 1. So now the output buffer is enabled. Output buffer is enabled means whatever data is available at the selected register, memory register 3, that will come out here. And once it come out and it is sorted with D0 to D3, this data from register 3 will now be available at this terminal. Now you can say, that means I can read the data, no problem. You may say, whenever I am reading, data is available at D0 to D3, no problem. But same data is available on the input of the buffer. Will it create a problem? No. Because my input buffer is now kept into the disabled state. Any data may be available at the input buffer. But as long as my input buffer is disabled by applying write bar 1, no input data will be stored in the memory. That is the basic or major reason why, because in earlier someone you are asking why you should apply buffer at the input of the register or input of the bit. That is the major reason. Because in every memory chip, input line, data line and output line is sorted. That means whenever we apply data in the data terminal, that will be available, always available at the input buffer as well as the output buffer. But the question is, if I do not apply this input buffer, then what happens? Whatever data I am reading, same data is coming to the input and it will again be stored into the memory register. Store and read, it will be performed in a simultaneous manner. That's why just to give a open circuit between input data and the memory, this input buffers and output buffers are connected. So you may read the data. Data will be available at D0 to D3 as well as the input buffer. But that data will not enter into the memory because you have a control over this data by applying input buffer. You have applied write bar 1, so input buffer is disabled. So no data, though it is available here, but it will not be entered inside the memory chip. I think use of buffers inside a memory chip, I think it is clear now. And now,
স্যার বলছি
this,
অ্যাক্টিভ লোটাই কেন ইউজ করা হচ্ছে, অ্যাক্টিভ হাইটা কেন ইউজ করা হয়নি ওই রিড আর রাইটটা?
so processor actually, our every processor generates this read and write active low signals they are using. Processor is generating write bar. I will tell you later in 8085 it will be generated active low. Okay. So this is
Sir?
how,
স্যার তাহলে এই ডিজাইনটা দিয়ে স্যার মানে কপি পেস্ট তো করা যাবে ডেটা, মানে কোনো ডেটা ধরুন মেমোরি রেজিস্টার জিরোতে আছে, সেটা আমি মানে আউটপুট
Yes,
বাফার
sir.
দিয়ে
Yes, sir.
ইনপুট
Right.
বাফার নিয়ে রেজিস্টার 1 2 3 যে কোনো একটা দিতে পারি।
you can do that. Okay. Only you have to change the address. Okay. If you want to select another register, change the address. Okay.
ওকে স্যার।
Okay. So this is how a memory chip, what is available inside a memory chip. But remember, you don't have to connect input buffer, output buffer, decoder externally because everything is available inside the memory chip. If you purchase a memory chip from the market, you don't have to connect a decoder buffer externally. It is available inside the memory chip, inbuilt. Only you will find there is a input lines A1, A0 address input, data lines, read bar, write bar, and some power supply, ground, etc. are there. Okay. Now, again, so this is how a memory chip look like, and what are there inside a memory chip. Now, again, we come to the whatever we are discussing with 8085 processor. And we will discuss the architecture of 8085 processor. Means what are the major building blocks are there inside 8085 processor. Before that, we are start discussing that whatever operation 8085 can do, they are divided into three major categories: microprocessor initiated operation, internal data operation, and peripheral initiated operation. We are discussing the microprocessor initiated operation. In this category, four such type of operation, microprocessor initiated operation are there: memory read, memory write, IO read, and IO write. And now, what is memory read operation, or what is the meaning of this code, or how this processor will perform this core operation? And we will see to perform this core operation, memory read, memory write, IO write, which are called microprocessor initiated operation. To do this core operation, what hardware actually processor needs, and then we'll see whether actually in 8085 is there or not. So actually, it is now in this slide. It is written all the four microprocessor initiated operation. To perform all the four operation, processor will follow this three step. Already I have discussed in briefly whenever I discuss memory operation. Memory read, memory write, IO read, IO write. To perform all of these four microprocessor initiated operation, processor will follow these three steps. What are these three steps? First step is identify the device. Select the device. What is the device? Device means it may be an input out. Hello. Device means it may be an input output device, or it may be a memory register. That's why I have written the word identify the device. Device means it may be a memory register, or it may be an input output device, keyboard, display, anything. Next step is transfer data, then transfer control signal. These are the three steps, and already these three steps I have discussed whenever I discuss the memory operation. Suppose I want to store something in the memory register, what I should do first? I should first identify a particular register out of many. That is the identify device. Then what I have to do? I have to apply data. That is called transfer data. Then third step is transfer control signal. Control signal means after applying data, what I have to do? Either I have to apply read bar signal, or I have to apply write bar signal. To store data, I have to apply write bar equal to 0. That signal, read bar, write bar, they are called the control signal, because they are controlling the data flow, which direction data will go. So this three step is true, or processor will follow for every four microprocessor initiated operation. It may be a IO read. IO read means input output read, reading a data from input device. In your device or with your processor, you may connect many input devices at a time. One keyboard, one mouse, anything. Other input device also you may connect. Suppose out of this many input device, your processor presently want to read data from a particular input device, suppose keyboard. Then what it should do? Processor will first out of these three devices, processor first identify that keyboard first. Because I have multiple input device. So currently, from which input device processor will read data? So that device he has to select first. How it will be selected? With address. So that is called identification of the device. Then transfer data means we read the data after sometimes to perform read operation. This step 2 and 3 sometimes it will be interchanged because to perform write operation, identify the device, transfer data, then transfer write bus signal. But to read operation, first identify the device, then you have to send the read bar signal, means transfer control signal. After that, only data will be transferred from the selected device to the processor. Okay. So this three-step processor has to follow to perform this 4 microprocessor initiated operation. This is the process. Now see what hardware is required to follow this process or three step. That is actually our interest. Our interest is, of course, how processor will perform this operation. What is the process? That is also our interest. And to perform this process, what are the hardware is needed? First, tell me to perform memory read. Suppose first step is identify the device. Now the question is, again try to understand. Suppose out of this code, take a specific memory read. What is the meaning of memory read? Processor will read a data from a memory register. Meaning is, data will be, after performing this operation memory read, a data will be transferred from memory to processor. That means the data will come to the processor from memory. Where is the memory? Is it inside the processor chip? No. Then because inside 8085 no memory chip is there, you have to connect the memory chip externally. So memory chip is connected external to the processor. That means processor wants to read a data from an external memory device. That is called memory read. And to perform memory read, what are the three steps processor will follow? That is written. Identify the device first. So how already I have told you how the identification will be done. Identification will be done with whom? Already I told you any identification of a house, of a region, or any register or a device. Always identification will be done with the help of address. Meaning is, another thing to make it clear, anything, any device you connect with the processor, this device must be assigned with the address. Otherwise it is meaningless. Why meaningless? Because suppose I have connected a memory chip with processor. What is the purpose? I have connected a memory chip with the processor. So what processor can do with the memory chip? With memory chip, processor can perform only two operations, read and write. Means either processor can store some data in the memory, read a write, or processor can read some data from the memory, read operation. So processor can perform read or write operation on the memory. So that is the purpose of connecting a memory chip. But the question is, processor can perform data transfer with memory chip only when processor, to perform this data transfer, processor will perform this three step, identify the device. He has to identify the device first. And identification will be done only with the help of address. So whenever I connect, remember, whenever you connect a device or a memory chip with processor, your first task should be to assign the binary address to the device. Because unless you assign a binary address to the device, that device will not be identified by the processor. And if it is not identified, processor will not be able to perform any operation with it. Because to perform any operation with device, memory read, memory write, IO read, IO write, the first step processor will follow is identify the device. Make it clear? So now think, already it is decided identification will be done with the help of address. The question is, who will identify? Who will identify? Because in that system, processor is the master. With processor, memory chip is connected. That means processor will identify the memory chip or memory register. Who will identify? Processor. Processor will identify with whom? Address. That means, suppose I told the processor that you identify a register whose address is 00. Meaning is, I have given the address 00 to the processor. How I have given the address? That is different issue. Instructions are there, and we will discuss the instruction later. But remember, instructions are available so that you can supply the address to the memory microprocessor. So that instruction part we will discuss later. So whatever we told, every thing to perform everything, instructions are available. Suppose I have given an address to the processor 00 that you read a data from the memory register 00. Then what processor will do next? What processor will do next?
স্যার 00 থেকে এনেবল 00 রেজিস্টারটাকে এনেবল করবে ফার্স্টে।
It will identify the 00 register.
তারপর সেটাকে এনেবল করবে, তারপর
Same thing. Remember. Okay. Same thing for your. If I told you, identify a device, identify a house in your region, the instruction is meaningless. Why meaningless? Because you have not given me an address of the house. How I will identify? So you must tell me the address of the house so that I can identify. That's why address is necessary. So you have done it. You have supplied the address 00 to the processor. That means you have told the processor that you read a data from a memory register whose address is 00. So instruction to the processor is now clear. If you only tell the processor you read a data from the memory chip, it's meaningless. Because in memory chip so many registers are there. From which register processor will read the data? So it is a meaningless instruction to the processor. But a correct instruction is, if you tell the processor that you read a data from a memory register whose address is 00. Now it is a complete instruction to the processor. You have given the address of the register. And after getting this instruction, as processor has to read data from the memory, it will follow, means the operation is memory read, microprocessor initiated operation. So what processor will do next? It will follow this 3-step. Identify the device. The processor will first identify the device. With whom? With the address given by you, 00. So now my question is, processor, you have given the address 00 to the processor. Memory chip is connected at the outside. Memory chip is not inside the processor, it is at outside. So how processor will identify a register whose address is 00? How it will be identified? See the block diagram of memory chip. What processor should do to identify the register 00? See, remember the block diagram of memory chip and tell me what processor should do. Tell me.
ডিকোডার দিয়ে
So it should send the address 00 to the address input of the memory chip, right? So that means whatever address you have given 00, processor must send this address 00. Where it will send? It must be sent to the address input of the memory chip. So that with that address 00 register will be identified. Clear? Now again the thing is, from memory, from processor, how this 00 address will be transferred to the memory chip? Because they are not inside, they are outside. What thing is required to send this 00 address to the memory chip?
Sir,
Can you
are
tell
you
me what
right?
is
Are you right? Are you right?
No. Processor is trying to send the address. Forget about write read. We have not entered into that part. We have only in the first part identify the device. Processor will send the address 00 where? To an output memory chip, outside memory chip. My question is, if I want to transfer 00, what is 00? This is two binary information, 00 or 01 with voltage level. So if this 200 I have to transfer somewhere else, what hardware is required to do that? So can you send this 00 through where? How will this transfer to the memory device? Because they are
সে কন্ট্রোল সিগন্যাল
no. I want to transfer two binary information from one place to other. Binary information
স্যার
means
আগে
two
ও
different
মেমোরির
voltage.
অ্যাড্রেসটা নেবে, তারপরে
The address is given. So how address will be sent to memory chip? What through whom I can send it?
স্যার ডিকোডার দিয়েই।
No, it will reach to the decoder. It will reach decoder. But through whom it will go to the decoder? Simple thing, you want to transfer two binary information, two wires are required only. You need to connect the memory chip to transfer these two data, 00 to address. You have to connect or send this binary information through only two wires. Two wires are required. This is the hardware required. Because my memory chip and processor, they are not inside each other. Something is here and memory chip is somewhere else. So how I can my processor send 2-bit binary information to the memory chip? What hardware it needs? It needs help of some two wires only. So that through these two wires, it can send this 2-bit address. If the address is more 10-bit, then it needs help of 10 such wire, so that through this 10 wire, processor will be able to transfer this 10-bit address to the memory chip. Here, so you need, or your processor needs help of wires only, 10 wires or 12 wires or 2 wires, so that through these wires, processor will be connected to the address input of the memory chip. This group of wires, which basically in processor anywhere it is called, this group of wires through which binary information or any information will be transferred, these are called bus. Group of wires are called bus. And this specific group of wires through which processor will transfer only address, that bus is basically called address bus. They try to understand. The first step is identify the device. To identify a device, processor needs the address. With instruction, you have supplied the address supposed to the processor. Then to identify address, processor must have to send the address to the memory chip. How address will go to the memory chip from processor? With the help of some wires. Through wires, this processor will send address to the memory chip. This group of wires through which processor will transfer the address to the outside device or input or memory, that group of wires are called address bus, through which it will send the address. So, first of all, you can understand, to perform memory read, first step is identify the device, and to identify the device, one hardware is required, processor need help, some wires through which you can transfer the address. This group of wires are called address bus. So address bus is required to identify the device. Now see what is, whether address bus is available in 8085 processor or not. It is available. And what is the length? It is written, you see this slide, length of the address bus in 8085 processor is 16 bit. That means there are 16 bit of address lines through which processor can able to send address to the outside device. 16-bit address bus, length of the address bus for 8085. Now if you ask me that 8085 it is a IC, so what does it means that 16-bit wires group of, what does it means that 16-bit address bus? Basically to the 8085 processor, 16-bit address bus means to this IC 16 number of legs, 16 number of pins are there, which is labeled as address bus. Because you can understand, you can see the, you may see the IC, because in digital lab it is not possible to, you have not done the lab, that's why it is, you may find difficulty. But every IC is having some leg, or it is called pin. So in 8085, as it is mentioned, it is having 16-bit address bus, meaning is there are 16 number of pins in 8085, which is labeled as address bus. Okay, so address bus is required to identify the device. This is one architecture of 8085 processor. And what is there inside the processor? It is 8085 is having 16-bit address bus through which it will send the address for identification, identify the device. Okay, suppose your address is sent. In our case, we have taken a small example of memory chip, 2-bit address. Let's assume it. So address is sent. That means device is identified. Now I want to, because our instruction is, I want to store some data in the memory. Memory, right? What is the first step? Identify the device. Device will be identified with the address address. Processor send the address through its address bus to the memory chip. So particular register out of many is now identified or selected. So first step is done. See the second step. After identifying a register, processor should transfer data because processor wants to store something in the memory right. So now processor will transfer data. That means there is a data transfer from where to where? From processor to memory. Again, remember, memory is not inside the processor. Processor is somewhere, memory is somewhere else at the outside. So processor will send some data to the memory chip. Again think, transfer data. Again think, to transfer binary data from one place to other, that means from memory, processor to memory. What hardware is required? Again, some group of wires are required. For each bit of data, one wire is required to transfer. So if I want to transfer 4 bit of data, I need help of 4 wires so that through these 4 wires, processor can able to transfer 4 bit of binary data simultaneously to the memory chip or any peripheral or any outside device. Okay. That means to perform data transfer or transfer data next step of memory write, processor need help of another hardware which is called group of wires to which processor will transfer data, and that group of wires I already called is called bus, and as through this bus processor is transferring data, this bus is called the data bus. That means to transfer data, processor needs a group of wires to which it will transfer data, which is called data bus. Now see, in 8085, whether data bus is available or not. It is available. What is the length of the data bus? In 8085, the length of the data bus is written 8 bit. Meaning is, processor can, how many wires are there? 8 wires. But in case of 8085 IC, wire means, again I same thing, 8 number of pins or legs are there in 8085 chip, which are designated as data bus. Okay. So through this 8-bit data bus, processor can transfer data. That means we are discussing the microprocessor initiated operation. A 3-step processor will follow. Identify the device. Hardware required is address bus. In 8085, 16-bit address bus is available. Second step is transfer data. Data will be transferred from processor to memory. What hardware is required? Some wires are required through which data will be transferred. It is called data bus. In 8085, data bus length is specific. It is 8-bit. It can transfer 8-bit data at a time. And you can see the third step.
স্যার
হ্যাঁ।
স্যার বলছি যে ওই যে 16 বিট অ্যাড্রেস লাইনটা আছে তার মানে কি মেমোরির সাইজটা কি 16 মানে 2 টু দি পাওয়ার 16?
So memory size means 2 to the power 16.
স্যার কেন কি
ম্যাক্সিমাম 2 টু দি পাওয়ার 16 টা অ্যাড্রেস নিতে পারবে, কিন্তু তার মানে তো এটা নয় যে অতগুলোই থাকতে হবে, তার কম হতে হবে।
Exactly. This is the maximum 2 to the power 16.
স্যার কেননা স্যার 64 বিট যদি এখনকার প্রসেসর গুলো হয় তাহলে মেমোরিটা হিউজ হয়ে যাবে। 64 বিট
Of course, 16 bit means I will tell it later that 2 to the power 16 is the maximum address combination is possible in case of 8085 processor. You may connect a memory chip with lower size, but not more than 2 to the power 16. Okay. Okay.
স্যার তাহলে
So the
মানে
next,
আমি কি করে জানবো যে স্যার মানে ওই জায়গাটাতে 2 টু দি পাওয়ার 16 এর কমই দেওয়া হয়েছে না বেশি নেওয়া হয়েছে, মানে অ্যাটলিস্ট যদি মেমোরির সাইজটা যদি ওর থেকে কম থাকে মানে 1000 এর মধ্যে যদি
হ্যাঁ।
থাকে, কিন্তু আমার কাছে তো সাইজ লিমিটটা 2 টু দি পাওয়ার 16 এর আছে, তাহলে ওই ট্রান্সফরমেশনটা কি করে জানতে পারবো?
you remember you will তুমি জানতে পারবে না, you have to connect the memory chip with the processor. So you have your size, you have to know the size, 1K memory chip you will connect with the memory chip. How you will connect? Add hardware also I will tell you. That process also you have to know. That it is not that somebody has connected and you will use it. No. 1K memory, suppose you have a lower size memory chip, 1K, only 2 to the power 10 registers are there. You want to connect it with 8085 processor. So what is the hardware required to connect it? That also you have to know. I will tell you. So you don't have to know. You have to design the circuit for how processor will be connected with the memory chip. Okay. Okay. So the next step for microprocessor initiated operation of memory write is after.
হ্যালো স্যার, স্যার বলছি এখানে ট্রান্সফার ডেটা 8085 এর 8 বিট, তাহলে কি যদি 16 বিট আমি ইনফরমেশন পাঠাতে চাই, প্রথমে 8 বিট পাঠাবে তারপর কি 8 বিট পাঠাবে?
Obviously, of course, you cannot, the processor cannot. That's why I told you that if it is a, it can do operation on 8 bit. Can we not perform operation on 16 bit? Yes, we can do, but in two step, not in single step. Okay.
স্যার এই ডিসক্রিমিনেশনটা কেন স্যার, অ্যাড্রেসটা 16 বিট আর এই ডেটাটা 8 বিট?
So that actually did not discrimination. That is actually whenever from the earlier age, whenever data microprocessor are designed from the beginning, they have designed with such a 16-bit address and 8-bit. Later on, 8086 is coming. Data bus, address bus, both are increased. Okay. They have designed it in that way because in that time nobody knows anything. They have start designing the microprocessor. Okay.
স্যার এখন হাইয়েস্ট ডেটা বাস কত হয়?
Now you know that your processor. You know for the processor, whatever computer you are using, you know the. I will tell that depending on the again, okay, right? Depending on the length of the address bus, basically the specification of the processor is defined. The 8085 processor length of the data bus is 8-bit. That's why this processor is called. It is a 8-bit processor. Means it can perform operation on maximum 8-bit data at a time. 8-bit processor. If the data bus length is 16-bit processor. So now your processor may be 64-bit processor. 64-bit processor means it is not address bus. Okay, 64-bit processor means it is the length of the data bus. That means how many bit data it can process at a time. So now probably you are using a 64-bit processor like that in your computer, like Pentium, etc. So processor 8-bit processor means length of the data bus. It defines the length of the data bus, 8-bit. That means it can perform operation on maximum 8-bit at a time. Similarly, 64-bit processor means it can transfer or perform operation on 16-bit data at a time. Means data bus length is 64-bit. Okay.
স্যার যদি ডেটাটা যদি ওই প্রসেসরকে দেওয়া হয়, মানে যেটা আপনি বললেন মেমরি রাইট যেটা, তো ওর মধ্যে
The
যখন
processor will send data to the memory write,
প্রসেসর যদি নেয় স্যার তাহলে মেমরি রিড তো স্যার,
memory read.
তো ওই টাইমে যখন মেমরিটা নেবে তো ওর লোকেশনটা আমি কি করে জানবো যে কোথায় আছে ওই ডেটাটা স্টোর?
No, that you have to mention. Already you have to know that in this memory my data is stored. That's if I do not know where is my data is stored, how I can instruct the processor you read it from there? I cannot. Again, because think in a lower level, not in like your C language, high level language, where you don't have to bother about the hardware, but here you have to do work with low level language. So you have to bother about the hardware. Suppose, again, that's why I told you, suppose you tell your friends to identify a house, you give the right instruction. Is your friend, who your friend identify a house? Why not? Because you do not tell him the address. Unless you tell him the address, your friend cannot identify. Next question is, how you can tell the address to your friend? Unless you know the address, you cannot say to your friend. That's why you must have to know the address. Otherwise, you cannot tell your friend that you identify this address. Same thing here. You must have to know that in which memory register your address is there. That's why I told you, here we will work directly with the hardware so that we have to know where my data is stored, in which memory address my data is stored, everything I have to know. Otherwise, I cannot work with this 8085 processor in low level language. Okay, you have to know, otherwise you cannot.
স্যার বলছি তাহলে আমাকে অ্যাড্রেসের সাথে ডেটাটাও লিখে রাখতে হবে যে আমি এইখানটাতে অ্যাড্রেসটা পাঠিয়েছি, সেই অ্যাড্রেসে আমার ডেটাটা আছে?
Data may be anything, but address you have to know. Processor will read that data. Whatever data will be there, processor will read it. Only thing is that you have to know the address. Without knowing address, you cannot instruct any processor to perform read or write. Okay.
স্যার মানে যখন সি ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে যখন যদি দুটো সাম করি তখন তো আমি দেখি না যে অ্যাড্রেসটা কোথায় আছে বা কোথায় ওই মানে সামেশনটা স্টোর হচ্ছে,
That is the beauty of the high level language.
কিন্তু এখানে রাখতে হবে।
That is the facility. But here you have to know the low level language. You must have to interact with the hardware directly. In C language or any other high level language, user need not to interact with the hardware directly. That will be done by this compiler, etc. Other device in between they have used media. In between there is a media. between user and somebody, your processor or hardware. But here you have to interact with the hardware directly. That mechanism you have to. Okay. Okay, the next, after transferring data, next is transfer control signal. Control signal means already either read bar or write bar. Because you have to identify register, transfer the data, data comes to the memory. Now you have to send the write bar signal. Who will send? Processor will send, because processor is trying to write something on the memory. And again, to transfer control signal, processor will send some binary signal to the outside device. Again, some wires are required. That group of wires is called control signals, like read bar, write bar, etc. There are beside read bar, and there is no specific length of the control pass. But beside read bar is one of the control signal. That means there is one pin in the 8085 microprocessor labeled as read bar. Write bar is another wire for control bus. That means there is a pin in 8085 which is labeled as write bar. Beside these two control signals, another few control signals are there, another few pins are there in 8085. Gradually, whenever I discuss the pin configuration, I will tell you what are the other control signals or control pins in 8085 processor. This is basically the summary of this microprocessor in its core microprocessor, how processor performs microprocessor initiated operation, and what hardwares are required to do this. So again, I am going to try to summarize it. Microprocessor initiated operation, 4 types of microprocessor initiated operation: memory read, memory write, IO read, IO write. To perform this 4 operation, processor will follow 3 steps: identify the device, second step is transfer data, third is transfer control signal. To identify the device, processor will send the address to the device, and to send address, it needs a hardware, help of a hardware which is called address bus. So address bus is required in 8 processor, and in 8085 length of the address bus is 16 bit. Similarly, to transfer data, data bus is required because some group of wires are required so that processor can transfer data to the memory chip or any output device. That is called data bus. In 8085 length of the data bus is 8 bit. And third step for microprocessor initiated operation is send control signal like read bar, write bar. Again, to send, who will send? Processor. To send control signal from processor to read bar, write bar, etc. to the memory chip. Again, some group of wires which is called required, which is called control bus. So all these 3 are there in 8085 processor. Now see that to perform this 4 operation, memory read, memory write, IO read, IO write, what is the first step? Tell me, what is the first step? Identify the device. Okay. Now to perform identify the device, what processor will do? Someone tell me what processor will do to identify the device.
স্যার অ্যাড্রেসটাকে মানে
পাঠাবে।
ওই অ্যাড্রেসটাকে অ্যাড্রেস বাস দিয়ে পাঠাবে মেমোরি
কে পাঠাবে?
স্যার প্রসেসর
So that means to perform this 4th step, who is initiating this process first?
প্রসেসর
That's why it is microprocessor initiated operation. Because processor is initiating this 4 operation by sending the address for identification first. That's why that means processor this 4 process, memory read, memory write, IO read and IO read will be initiated by the processor first by sending the address to the address bus. That's why these 4 types of operations are called microprocessor initiated operation. Now whatever you are telling that it is, if it is 16 bit, is this board visible to you? Can you see
Yes,
this
sir.
board?
Yes, sir.
As you have told, the address bus length of 8085 processor is 16 bit. Meaning is, as somebody has told, that with this 16 bit address bus, how many address we can generate? Maximum 2 to the power 16 combination is possible. Because 16 bit to the power 16, that means each combination may be treated as one address. That is maximum 2 to the power 16 number of address we can generate. Now the question is, then with Because if it is my 8085 microprocessor, with this microprocessor, suppose I want to connect a memory chip. I want to connect a memory chip. Now, can you then suggest what will be the maximum size of this memory chip? Maximum size
Sir, 64 kilobyte.
to the power 16. That means with 16-bit address, how many different address we can generate to the power 16? That means this memory should contain maximum how many register? How many
65536.
register? To the power 16 now. I don't want to calculate. Only you can say to the power maximum to the power 16 number of registers should be there inside this memory chip, not more than that. What is to the power 16? To the power 16 means we can say, sorry, to the power 10 into to the power 6 we can say. What is to the power 6 means how much it is? 64. To the power 6 means how much? 64. And you know that this to the power 10 is basically called 1K. That means this is 1K, 1 kilo, right? So this can say 64K. This is the maximum size of the memory chip that we can connect with 8085 processor. Not more than that. 64K is the maximum size. Because to the power 10 means 1K into to the power 6. To the power 6 means 64. So only the limited size memory we can connect with the 8085 processor. We cannot connect more than that. Can you say why we cannot connect more than 64K? What is the reason behind it?
Sir, address হবে না service.
That means if my memory contains more than to the power 16 register here, meaning is you will not be able to assign address of all these extra register, because I have maximum how many combination to the power 16. So I cannot able to assign address to all these register. And remember, if we cannot assign a address to a register or any device and connect it to the processor, I have already told you it is meaningless to the processor. Why meaningless to the processor? If there is no address, processor will not be able to identify it. And if processor cannot identify a device, it cannot perform read or write operation. Because it is the first step to identify the device before performing read or write. So if I connect more number of register, more than 64K, we can maximum assign address to 64K, but not more than that. So those register will not be accessible by. You can connect. Someone has please mute your microphone. So we cannot access, processor cannot access this register because these registers are not having any unique address. But thing is that you can connect a lower size, suppose 32K memory. That you can connect. There is no problem. You can connect a lower size memory, but not more than 64. So in the next class, definitely we will discuss. In the next class, we can discuss if I have a 32K memory chip or 4K memory chip. What is the hardware, or how we can connect it to the 8085 processor. That we will discuss in details. But before, another thing I want to mention just today, that I have discussed how processor can perform memory read, memory write, means how processor can perform microprocessor initiated operation. What are the steps? Identify device, transfer data, transfer control signal. My question is, how as a user, how you can understand what step processor will follow to perform any task. Suppose I have given a memory read operation to the processor. You read a data from memory. What step processor will follow? How you will understand? I have given you 3 steps. But my question is, how as a user, simple user, or how as a learner, how you will understand what step processor will follow to perform any task. It may be memory write, it may be later on you will find so many other tasks. So what step processor will follow to perform this task? Just always, I will just tell you one thing. In place of processor, just imagine yourself and take the task by yourself. in place of processor, imagine yourself and try to do the same task. Whatever process you will follow, processor will also follow the same step. Try to understand. Suppose you have given a task to the processor, but you don't understand how processor will do it. How processor can, what step processor will follow to do it. If you do not understand, just in place of processor, imagine yourself and think, if this task has been given to you, how you will do it? What step you will follow to do this work? Processor will also follow the same step. I remember later on we will take so many examples, so many processes. Every time you will understand that what processor is, steps processor is following to do a work. In place of processor, if you are there, definitely you will also follow the same step to do the same. So that's why that I am telling you, if you sometimes confused that what processor will do to perform a particular work, imagine yourself in place of processor and think. Processor will perform the same operation. Okay, so the next day what we will do, we will
হ্যালো
discuss.
স্যার স্যার বলছি কন্ট্রোল বাসে স্যার কটা পিন থাকে 8085 এর ক্ষেত্রে
Control bus there is এরকম কোনো specific bus length specify করা হয় না. There are some control signals like read bar and write bar. Beside read bar, write bar, another 3-4 control signals are there. In the during pin configuration, whenever I will discuss those pins of control pins. Okay.
ওকে স্যার
Okay. Is there any other questions? Okay, then we want to stop today. So that the next class what and
স্যার
after
বলছি
that
যে ওই যে
we will discuss
অ্যাড্রেসটা
because first I have told you 3 types of operations are there. Microprocessor initiated, internal data operation and peripheral initiated.
হ্যালো
So
স্যার
we'll next class also internal
Hello?
data operation also will discuss.
হ্যালো স্যার
Ah,
স্যার বলছি যে ওই যে
please.
অ্যাড্রেসটা যে ও নিচ্ছে মানে যেখান থেকে ডেটাটা নিচ্ছে নেওয়ার পর ওই মাইক্রোপ্রসেসরটা কোথায় রাখবে স্যার ওই ডেটাটা ওর কাছে তো মেমরি নেই
So that it has some that belongs to that it has some register. Actually, that belongs to the next type of operation, internal data operation. I have written. First, only I have discussed microprocessor initiated operation. Actually, you are asking what are the building blocks are there inside the processor. You are asking. Actually, I am discussing that only, but not directly with some operation. I have only discussed 3 buses, but next category of operation is internal data operation. You can see the slides, internal data operation. That means that will belong to that your question, answer of this question. You are asking where this data will be kept. That means how processor will manage this data internally. That belongs to the internal data operation category. In the next class, I will discuss that. Definitely, there are some register. Though long memory chip is not there inside processor, but limited number of registers are there where he can store it. Okay, I will discuss in details how many registers are there inside the 8085 processor. Okay. Okay, thank you.